Amputee Show Tiny Desk series for the summer. The Amputee Show is a podcast sponsored by Amputee Aid. See, there's our flag in the background, where we take a deeper dive, a closer look, have a more intimate conversation about topics that we have discussed on Life Amplified, our weekly webinar. If you are not watching Life Amplified, where have you been? We meet every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Zoom and TikTok. You can also scroll this page right where you found this podcast, and you will see recordings of our webinar, Life Amplified, and also prior conversations we've had with other guests for the Amputee Show. We have been waiting to bring Mr. Five Toes Down, Henry Bryant, back to our tiny desk, our intimate conversation, to talk to us more about his life, his mission, his work, his social media, his own nonprofit, to help us share stories. One of the missions that we have here at Amputee Aid is called Community Stronger Together, where we highlight other organizations, other movers and shakers in the field, and share their stories, both their personal stories, but also their mission and the work that they do. Henry, welcome to the Amputee Show. Hello, hello.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. Now, people who have followed us know that we are friends. You pop up on our social media. We share your social media as much as we can. We've had you here in Pittsburgh, where we are located, and we want to love on you and sing your praises. We also had you on as a webinar guest a couple months ago, and we invite everyone listening to this podcast to go watch that webinar too. But we asked you when we were done, could we tell your story? Could we have you on our podcast too, to talk about your journey as an amputee, but also the work that you do, which there's not enough people like you in the amputee community who do the work that you do, and also your nonprofit, Five Toes Down. And you said yes, and that's what we're doing today. So thank you. I wore some red in honor of you. I see you've got your red on. One of your campaigns. I know, right? One of your campaigns is Wear Red Fridays for a part of the summer. And we'll talk about that in a little bit for Five Toes Down. But I wanted to start with, if you're willing, if you could tell us a little bit about your journey becoming an amputee, because I think a lot of people will recognize some similarities in their own lives and they have takeaways. So could you tell us how you became an amputee?
Okay, so I became an amputee by a motorcycle accident. I love riding motorcycles. I was riding 10 years, never had issues, never had problems. I probably thought I was the coolest guy out there on a sports bike. I had all the helmets, the gear and everything. But the day this accident happened was one of those days I wasn't wearing any of my gear. I wasn't wearing my full helmet. I wasn't wearing my jacket, boots, the pants, anything. I had on a t-shirt, shorts, tennis shoes, the half chrome helmet and sunglasses. So again, I just said I thought I was the coolest thing out there. But just somebody not paying attention in traffic. It was an accident and they did not run into the car in front of them. They ended up swerving to their left, which it was a 2-lane highway. And just so happened I was coming back into town and I got hit head on by this guy. That's what caused the accident. I still had my leg after I got hit at first for maybe like a month while I was still in the hospital, dealing with everything else from the broken ribs, fractured fingers, the road rash, you name it. And then they eventually came in and said, hey, Henry, we got to amputate that leg below the knee. So mind you, this is 2016, so I was not on social media. I was not doing anything that I'm doing now. I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. I didn't have friends or family that were amputees. So getting that news basically devastated me at age 34. I'm almost 10 years in now wearing a prosthetic, but back then I felt like my life was over. I mean, like that was it for me. Young guy. I felt everything from life over to nobody would want me. It was so many emotions that I was going through all at the same time. And then, you know, I'm kind of jumping a little bit, but then you fast forward through all the pain, the hurt, the sleepless nights, the loneliness, the sad times, the wanting to give up. And, you know, God kept his hands on me and touched my heart, touched my spirit to where I was able to start rebuilding what you see today. And that's why I'm so happy with my life and so happy to anytime share my story, because it was not the fairy tale one and done type situation.
Yeah.
I've been through all the emotions up and down, and I'm literally at a point where I can kind of stay on this high with life.
Yeah.
Even when negativity come in, it's like I'm so high and so filled that I still find the good in everything bad that happens around me to this day.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you more about that because, first, what a traumatic accident you had, and many people become amputees because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this idea of recovery, as
Mm-hmm.
if it's like a straight line, like you just recover and get better, and it's really like this and like this, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
there's also a difference between your physical recovery and your
Mm-hmm.
emotional recovery.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how those things worked or happened for you? Your emotional recovery, you mentioned, you felt like life is over. I'm not on social media, so I don't see lots of amputees doing things, right? I'm like,
Correct.
young
Correct.
guy, can't be on a bike anymore. That's it for
Mm-hmm.
me. But something happened or something happened along the way that life wasn't over for you. So talk to us a little bit more about that, the difference between physical recovery and emotional recovery and how those things happened for you.
So it's a big difference between the two. So the physical recovery, honestly, if because I was walking and moving around and pretty healthy at the time when it happened, physically getting back to walking, I didn't see that as a problem. Sometimes people lose limbs and the upper body might not be strong and stuff like that. I was in pretty good shape as far as like strength. So losing the leg, I was still able to move. I was still able to do the basic like standing up, using a walker, hopping. I didn't have problems with the other foot. And then I pushed with the physical because I was so in tune with trying to make sure I didn't let people around me know I was suffering and I was having a hard time. So physical part, I pushed through in the beginning like it was nothing. The mental, the emotional, the spiritual, all of that, that was work. That's what the real work with me was at, because long as people were around, I was okay. It was no issues. I didn't really voice how I was feeling. I just would, put on this face and like, I'm strong. I got this. But when people weren't around in those dark times, in those times when you're by yourself, that's when mentally it works on you. That's when I started thinking about, man, what am I going to do in life? And people going to see this and people are going to say that about me. People are going to look at me like I'm handicapped. And at the time I was married, and, I had thoughts that, oh, my wife was going to leave me. And if I wasn't married, I wasn't even thinking about nobody would find me attractive. So all of those things kind of happen at once, where the physical is just, hey, stand up on the other foot. Let's get to it. Use your arms. Let's get to it. But the everything else literally took me time to where I had to, I'm faith based. So I grew up in the church. I had to get back to my faith. Um, I grew up in the church knowing about God, knowing about faith, but I've never had anything that dramatic happen to me in my life. So I didn't know how to pray, how to lean on my faith, how to even what that looked like as far as recovery. So I literally had to get back to the basics of just praying. And I would talk to God the same way I'm talking to you now. Same way I talk in my videos. I could be riding in my car and talk to him. And it started like that. Like, all right, Lord, I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know where to go from here. I said, but every day, if you just give me strength to start my day, I will try to do better to feel better. And, with all that, I did look into other resources. Like I ended up having a psychologist I had to talk to mentally because I needed to get things out and I didn't want to be judged for the things I was thinking or saying, but it's good and it's healthy to get it out. um, I would talk to my pastor at times when I did get back into church and let them know also that, hey, I'm struggling. So, they would give you Bible verses to read, scriptures to read, just to kind of bring you back home. And I stuck with that heavily. I did that just like physical therapy. So a lot of people just talk about physical therapy, but you might as well call it mental therapy, emotional therapy, spiritual therapy. You might as well go ahead and name those also and make that something that's core in recovery, because that's what helped me to finally stop feeling sorry for myself and say, you know what, I'm gonna put these pieces back together.
Yeah, I want to pause and just let that point settle in for folks
Mm-hmm.
listening to our conversation
Mm-hmm.
because I think a lot of times the goal is when you become an amputee, I need to walk. That's my goal. Or I need to
Yes.
be able to hold a spoon. That's my goal. And we
Yes.
focus so much on the physical goals that we
Mm-hmm.
neglect the emotional and mental goals altogether. And or we are ashamed of saying, hey, I need to talk to a therapist, or I might need to go on medications because I'm not doing well mentally. And
Yes.
those parts of your health and your recovery are so important. It's not just the physical. And Henry, I think one of the beautiful things about you and your mission and your social media is that those are things you talk about. Like you don't have to
Yes.
be ashamed to talk about taking care of your mental health or your spiritual health, however that looks. And
Mm-hmm.
I just wish overall in the community that on the advocacy side and on the healthcare side, that we were
Mm-hmm.
more focused on the mental health and the emotional.
Yes. Yes. Because
Um,
that skyrocketed everything I started doing. Like I said, physically I was fine to get up, but once I really tapped into how I was doing with my emotions and how mentally it was doing for me, that's when you start to conquer any physical activity that you have to do, regardless if it's walking, regardless if you try to run. I see people mountain climbing and all of that, but you got to be in a good headspace to basically do anything. So I would honestly put that over walking because I didn't really take advantage of having a prosthetic and walking until I mentally said, okay, this is my new life. This is what I'm going to have to do. And then it made walking that much more of a greater experience for me, you
yeah,
know? So,
yeah, so important. And one
hmm
of the many things that you did after you recovered is you got a new job and now you work at a
yeah,
clinic that
yes.
you were not working at a prosthetic clinic before.
No, no, no.
And I want to spend some time in a moment talking about Five Toes Down and your nonprofit mission. But
hmm
I would be neglectful if I didn't point out the job that you do because as we talked about during our webinar, and I remember distinctly during our webinar chat, people saying, I wish I had this. I wish there was somebody like that
Yes,
coming to see me. And so
yes.
I wonder if we could talk a little bit about the type of work that you do, and then we'll talk more about like why it matters. But what is your job, your 9 to 5, so to speak?
So my 9 to 5 right now is at Reform Prosthetics here in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm a prosthetic clinical liaison. So that's fancy words for basically I deal a lot with patient care. And my main role is if you're going to be working with our company after amputation, I'm usually one of the first people you see in the hospital after surgery. Sometimes we catch you and pack you like right after surgery. Sometimes if I got scrubs on, they allow us to go in the operating room. I haven't had that opportunity yet. But we fit you with the limb protector. We fit you with a shrinker, whatever it is that the doctor is ordering for you, if it pertains to a limb protector or shrinker, socks and things like that. And I also talk to you about just basically being an amputee. That's the first part of the job, but I keep up with you your entire journey. So the whole time you're in the hospital, every 2 days, you're going to see me. Even if I'm not touching your leg or doing anything with your leg, I'm coming in the door. I'm saying hi. I'm seeing if you have questions. I'm asking you how you doing mentally. That's just me personally doing that part. We do go around and do rounds every 2 days, but me personally, I ask, how are you doing mentally? How are you doing with the amputation? How's the family doing? I keep up with you until the doctor clears you to come to your first appointment because the guys at the office can't start making your leg or doing anything with you until the doctor gives the okay. So while you're in the hospital, I'm there checking on you. If you go to rehab and you're still in the area in Savannah, I'm still popping up at the rehab places. I have good relationships with them. And when you get home, I'm not popping up at your house. Even if you live in Savannah, I'm not popping up at your house. But I'm calling you every week or every other week just to say, hey, I'm just checking in to see how you doing. And then once you come to the office, you see me in there all the time. Everybody see me in
Yeah.
there playing and
Yeah.
doing what I do. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, first of all, did you have somebody like that coming to see you while you were in the
N-
hospital?
Not at all.
And so I'd imagine that you can think about your own experience and maybe even
Yes.
predict like the questions that people have or some of the
Yes.
emotions that they might be feeling. So in some ways,
Yes.
your experience is now an asset because it makes you really good at your job. And you
Yes.
are really good at your job. Every single
Well,
person
thank you.
I have
Thank
met
you.
that talks about you says how great you are.
Um,
So
I keep that in mind when I do things
Yeah.
too. I keep that in mind when I see you at the hospital. Even if you tell me, hey, I'm okay. I keep that in mind that, hey, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you how you're really doing. Because sometimes when you're in front of people and if you're meeting for the first time, you know, you don't let it all out. But by the second time I talk to you, if you're going to tell me something or if you're going to say something, you're going to say it by the second time because it's a vibe. They say they feel my spirit when I walk in. So it's a good thing to be in a position that I am.
Yeah, and it seems to me you really have to be able to bond quickly with people who are going through a
Yes.
lot, and that takes a special type of person who has not just lived experience, but genuine care. And it's
Yes.
clear to, I think, anybody who sees your social media or who has met you that you genuinely care about the amputee community.
I do.
Um,
I do.
I have another question about this, and then I want to talk about Five Toes Down, the coloring book,
Okay.
all the things that you're doing.
Come on.
Um, but I'm just curious, when you're at work, let's say you're at the clinic, do people
Mm-hmm.
ever mistake you for the doctor or the prosthetist? Like, do they
Oh,
call and ask for you instead?
man, it's bad.
They're like, "Where's Henry? I'm not showing up
It's
if he's not there."
it's bad. One of the doctors actually put my name in there when on the referral. They was like, we're referring them to Henry at Reform Prosthetics for prosthetic care. And it happens a lot, but I also tell people when I meet them, like the guys at the office are awesome. I tell anybody quick, I do not make legs. If you ask me something and I don't know the answer, I'm not one of them type that's going to try to sound smart. I'm not going to try to pull an answer out of midair. I'm literally going to say, hey, I don't know, but let me talk to the guys that do know. I'll get back with you, or I get you in contact with them. But a lot of people even they didn't even think the name of the clinic I work at was Reform Prosthetics. They thought it was called Five Toes Down.
Five Toes Down.
I was like, no, that's not the name of the clinic. But it happens a lot, and they're so excited when they come in there. Even today, Tiara, our office coordinator, she said, Henry, would you mind calling this patient because the doctor cleared him? And she said, I have to spend about 20 to 30 minutes on the phone trying to tell this person who I am and where I work at.
Yeah.
And as soon as I say Henry, it's like they're like, oh yeah, I know my man Henry. So I call a lot of the patients to get them scheduled now because it's an easy phone call for me.
Yeah. I think it's a good problem for Reform to have because they recognize you. And I'm just thinking of all the people who are scared to go to a clinic or they're overwhelmed with medical decisions or they don't want to go. So other clinics need to take note of what Reform is doing, right? So you have that personal connection literally right from the moment of amputation forward. You're keeping that patient in your care, but they also become part of the fold. They become part of your family.
Yes.
I wonder if one of the reasons people know you and Reform is because a lot of your social media is like you in the office doing TikToks. And apparently Reform's okay with it. So let's talk a little bit about social media and then we'll talk about Five Toes Down. I love your TikToks. Lots of people love it's like everyday stuff. It's you answering the phone. It's you showing off new liners. Is that intentional to show like just every day?
Yeah, it's just because it's me. Because a lot of times when you get on social media, I was looking for that niche or whatever they say, niche. Something you could post every day type. But it's like it makes me feel good. It makes me laugh. I find it funny, so I started doing it. I do not think about any of the posts that I do. I don't sit there and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to post blah blah blah. It literally is just spur of the moment. And if I can tape it right away, I do. Now, as far as the job being okay with it, a lot of the videos I do tape. I tape them on my lunch break or I tape them because I get an hour lunch break. And then after work, sometimes I'll say, hey, I'm going to stay behind about 20, 30 minutes. I need to run and tape some videos and stuff. And they're okay with that. But
that's amazing.
A lot of the patients want to be in the videos. So that's when it's okay to tape. Yeah, that's when it's okay to tape during office hours. And you'll see some of them in there cutting up or dancing because they want to be in it. And then I make a lot of the videos for patients, even if you don't want me to post it online. I make a video of you walking. I make a video of you standing. As long as I'm there, I want you to have those moments because you need that when you get to a point where you feel defeated and you feel like, man, this is not working. You can look back on where you started. And I'm talking about that's straight motivation right there without anybody having to say anything to you. Just look at one of your old videos when you first came in. And use that as your motivation. So everything I do is intentional. Answering the phones and stuff like that. All of that is real because I'm like a jack of all trades, as my boss would say. And that's just because I picked up on things from just being there. I'm almost 4 years with them now. I picked up on kind of every position. And I'm able to do some things, and sometimes I get off guard. So that's when the video comes, because it was like, I don't know nothing about insurance like that, so then I'll make a video pertaining to that. Or so I just have fun. I want people to smile, and I want to just show positivity and love out here as much as I can.
I think the videos they do lots of things. Number one, amazing marketing for reform. So kudos to them. But also, even if it's not being posted for individual patients, you're capturing moments. I'm thinking about even like in a family way. Like if you think of holiday time and people are doing videos, it's kind of like that. Like it's that family vibe. But also, one of the cool things about your social media is you normalize life as an amputee. Like you've got videos where you're working out at Planet Fitness, or you're like in bed just talking to the camera. And I'm in bed too. I'm like, yeah, Henry's talking to me. And is that also intentional to just show like everyday life as an amputee?
Yes, that is definitely intentional, because like I don't want my page to be one of those pages to where you think like everything is just peachy, everything is 100%. It's hard to actually plan out a lot of things. So I give it to you raw, but I try to be, as subtle about things as possible. So I won't ever be on there, doing anything too crazy. I try to keep it all positivity. But it's all just, I want to show you like this is real life. Like this is my everyday life. If I could have a camera crew go around with me all day, I actually would sign a waiver and say it's okay. Because when I first got on social media, I would see a lot of things, but I had misconception that, people don't go through struggles and go through problems. And then when I started accomplishing things, my brother said it one time, my oldest brother. I was running for the first time. And I said, man, I want to put this online, but I said, I'm gonna wait till I get it good before I post it, because I don't want people to talk about me. He was like, why don't you just post it? People need to see your journey. And ever since he said that, I said, you know what? I got more comfortable with being online, and the more comfortable I got with being online, I got more comfortable with myself. So that's why I'll post something and I may not get it the first time. I may not get it the second time. I try to post the journey, which again, trying to tape your own material is hard. And even when in the gym, when I do something new, I try to tape it and show it. But sometimes you can't always put cameras, and I don't want to be that guy either. Got cameras everywhere, stands everywhere. I still want to work out, but I still want to let you know, like, hey, everything's a process,
I'm thinking of your journey to jumping rope as one of the examples.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And I love this concept of showing journeys, because lots of people will look on social media for inspiration, and it's usually like the Paralympic runner, who's like perfect in form, and that's not achievable right away for everybody. But if they see you're not, and by any means the average guy, but a more average guy, I would say, who is just like living life and can show the whole journey, that is relatable. And I think that's one of the reasons your social media is so gravitating for people, is because it's relatable. It shows real everyday stuff. Another way that you are relatable to show everyday life is with your coloring book and books, more than one. And you're Amazon published, and Mr. Five Toes Down, your nonprofit. So I want to turn to that topic next, because in addition to having your own journey and then also working at Reform, you are a nonprofit founder, and you advocate for the community, advocate and educate. So let's talk about that. So first, the nonprofit is called Five Toes Down. Is that right?
Correct. Five Toes Down Incorporated.
How did we get that name?
So we got that name literally through my mental, spiritual, emotional journey. With me praying to God and asking Him, like, "Hey, what's the direction of my life now?" Because I'm going from a life of retail work to a life of I don't even know if I'm gonna walk or what I'm gonna do. And literally just by praying and talking with Him one night on one of those silent nights. This is after my psychologist had me journaling. They told me to journal my thoughts, like write stuff down, don't keep it in. So if I felt like I couldn't say it out loud, just journal it down. So I kept a journal by my bed. And one night when I went to sleep after praying, I kind of woke up, I guess, in the middle of the night. And this is like true facts. I grabbed my journal, my pad, because it was by the nightstand at the time, and I jotted a bunch of stuff down. And the stuff was just like, it had coloring book, it had some other stuff on there I couldn't really read, but it was just something I wrote down, never cut lights on, put my journal down, laid back down. That next morning when I woke up, I looked at it, and then I saw a book and coloring book and etc. And I just was like, I sat at the edge of my bed. I got I only got 1 foot. So, everybody used to say they 10 toes down. And at that time, I didn't know like if I would always have a prosthetic or wear a prosthetic. So even if you do, at the end of the day, if you take prosthetics away, I only got 5 toes. So in my head, I was like, every morning, I'm going to put 5 toes down and I'm going to tackle my day. So that's how the name came along. And then when I started trying to figure out, all right, I'm going to turn this into like a company project, what would the logo look like? So that's when I got the hand, the foot, and the arrow down. So the hand is amputees that's missing limbs above, like your arms, your hands. The foot is for all your amputees that's missing like your foot, your leg. And then the down is literally the people that you run across after your journey. Because I have more people in my circle that's not direct family, and those people are down for me. So that's how I came up with all the logos and the name and everything.
I love that. And there's so much. We're down for you too. We're part of the group.
Yes. Yes, you in there.
Yes, we are. And so one of the many things that you do is a coloring book. And it just reminded me, this is maybe not the most artful way of doing this, but I have a cabinet next to me and I think I have some of them. Hold on, let me grab it.
Oh, come on.
And I have your flyer for something coming up. Okay, this is my little goodie box.
Oh,
I told you we're fangirls. Okay,
yes.
We'll do the flyer in a minute here.
Okay.
Because you've got so many coloring books, but a lot of them feature, this is you, right? This is you as a character.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And this was before like AI came along. I was trying to get somebody to draw like a character of me.
Here you are.
That's me on the bag.
I recognize that shirt. I think that's similar to what that's basically you right now.
That might be what I got on now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If I remember correctly, when you were in the hospital, or after you left, you were like coloring became kind of therapeutic for you. Is that right?
Correct. Because when you're laying in the hospital bed, you can't go anywhere. You can only watch so much TV in the hospital, and it's not the same as watching TV at home. And I wasn't like talking to a therapist in the hospital. All of the therapists and everything happened after the hospital. So if my family was in there and they had word searches, word scrambles, whatever they had, I'm like, hey, let me get that for a little bit. And, my family, some of them, my nieces and stuff, they would have like little coloring books. And if you left them, I was in there coloring, but it felt good. It felt good to be. So I said, you know what? Let's get some coloring books.
It's relaxing and you can focus and take your mind off of other things. Here's another one. I love this one. Where's my leg gone? Henry the Amputee.
Yes.
I love this. But there's also, here you are.
That's a different character.
There's also word searches. There's like cool pictures and things that people can color in here. And then the third one I have here also features you as a character.
Yes.
I love these so much. And other characters as well, right? And again, the images just normalize life. Oh, perfect example. Here is an amputee golfing.
Yes, right? Yes.
And so just normal everyday lifestyle things. Look, 2 amputees together hanging out. These are on here. I love this. Look at So these are on Amazon, right? People, you can get these.
You can get them on Amazon. You just search my name, search 5 Toes Down coloring book. I know it's long, but if you type it in and search it, they'll pop up. And you could do the titles, or you could search 5 Toes Down, and you'll start to see them. You may have to go through a couple other books, but you'll see them on there.
And we'll make sure in the comments below this podcast here that we've included the links as well, so that folks can go and get their coloring book and also share with family, friends, anybody, whether you are or not. This is super cool. And also the proceeds support your nonprofit work. So let's talk more about that. It's not just coloring books that 5 Toes Down does. Tell us more about your nonprofit and your mission.
So my nonprofit right now is just to empower amputees. So everybody has a voice. And I don't want you to think just because you lost a limb, like your voice is not as loud as somebody that has all their limbs or whatever the case may be, because we all go through things in life. But when you lose part of yourself, it's visible that you're missing something. But what you gain, people can't see what you gain. So everything that I've gained from losing my limb, you can't see it. So I use my nonprofit to create a platform to acknowledge the amputee community, empower the amputee community. I want to motivate the amputee community. And I do that through my coloring books, my books. And it's a lot of things that I have on the horizon that I'm trying to do. I try to do like a social gathering every year. I want to also try to get from coming there with you guys in Pittsburgh and going to that adapted sports event we did.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
and
talking to
of
people.
July, we had you
Yeah.
here twice. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So I've been talking to people here about trying to get more adaptive sports here
Love that.
in the city. And everything I do, I don't want it to just be Savannah based. I want to start it here, but I also want to be able to do this all over. Because I had somebody reach out to me in the comments this week when I was posting about the support group at Encompass, and they were saying they wish they had that here. And I left a comment saying, "Hey, make sure you DM me," because I said together maybe it's something that we can do. If you're comfortable, maybe it's something you could spearhead and we can do it together. And eventually I'll be able to do it there in that city where you are. So I just want to spread the love and just help everybody that I can, because you got a lot of power that people don't think you have, but you got to tap into yourself to unleash that power. And I'm unleashing it.
Yeah, going back to our earlier point, that psychosocial support, that mental health and emotional support is such an incredible part of someone's recovery. So anytime you can go to a support group, talk to a mentor, hang out, chat online, that is valuable work. And P.S. and by the way, is worthy of funding. So please donate to Five Toes Down. It is a 501c3. Okay.
Yes.
So it's worthy of investments to expand that programming. You mentioned doing events. And so I did this. I pulled this flyer up. One of your events is coming up. Tell us what's coming up. See, I love your characters so much. Tell us what's coming up. Like, I think next week, right?
Yes. So next weekend, September 5th, from 1 to 5, we got my 3rd annual social event. And this started because even with support groups, even with presentations and things like that, you go to a lot of things and sometimes you have to sit, you have to be quiet. You see people in the room, but you don't get a chance to interact with the people in the room. If you do, it's overwhelming because you got maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes while people cleaning up or shutting down. My social event is literally that. It's a social event for you to meet other people. You hang out, you talk. I have games on the table. I buy raffles throughout the year with my own money. Like if I'm in the store and I see something and I got like an air fryer. They had an air fryer in Walmart. They had it marked down. I said, let me get that and I'm going to save it for my social. This was back in like February. So my social is in September, the first week of every year. It's the first weekend in September, that Saturday. But I just want to create a space for people to get together and be able to talk with each other, lean on each other. And also, sometimes you don't get a chance to see other people. I started doing that too because I work at a prosthetic office now. But before then, people just knew I worked at Publix. So if they wanted to come talk to me, they said, hey, you know, it's an amputee work at Publix. And then you had to try to find what Publix I was at to come talk to me.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people and they go through the same issues of not wanting to be outside, not knowing where to go, not having anybody to hang out with. So I want to create the environment so you can meet. And some of these people from last year, they go out together here. They go out to dinner together here. They go shopping together here. And I'm just trying to help create that space, a healthy space for you to meet other amputees, to continue this journey because it's lifelong. It's lifelong.
And your family circle, it grows in some ways by having more connections. No judgment. You don't have to worry about somebody looking at you weird in the, because you're out in public. It's just it's just fun and engaging. And all the money raised goes back to the nonprofit, which we love. We love nonprofit work, right?
Yes.
There are some other things that you kind of have on the horizon or envision. One of which is speaking engagements.
Come on.
And I would just love for folks to hear your story from tragedy to, I don't want to say cocky young adult, but you were confident, I think, before your accident, like just never going to to tragedy to focusing on your mental health, and then also not being ashamed, especially as a guy, to say, mental health matters. And not only am I going to take care of it, but I'm going to tell other people it matters too. So you are open for speaking engagements. Is that right?
Correct. I am open for speaking engagements. Thankful to Amputee Aid. Give you your flowers. Give you your flowers. Y'all get in contact with Amputee Aid. I am open to speaking engagements to tell my story, tell my journey, and I connect with everybody. It doesn't even have to be just amputees, because I talk to people on a regular who are just having a hard time in life and see me as inspiration to not give up. So any speaking engagements or opportunity that you guys have out there, you can contact Amputee Aid, contact me, and let's show up and show out. Because I love it.
We'll make sure we include all the contact information below in the comments as well. But there's so many things that people can take from your story, whether or not they have limb loss or limb difference. There are always kind of kernels of wisdom. And as you are continuing life, we're talking like you're 100 years old. You're a young guy.
I know.
You got lots of life to live. And one of the things that's kind of coming up for you is some acting gigs too. So can we talk about that a little bit? You're an actor.
Well, Let's go ahead and claim it. Yes. So
tell it.
This happened from me just getting, like I said, comfortable with social media and just putting my life out there to help people. I ran into Minister Lee, Miss Lee, down in Miami, Florida. She reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm having a breast cancer fashion show." She said, I don't know why you popped up on my feed, but you did. And she said, ever since I saw you, I can't stop watching your videos. She said, would you come down to Miami and walk in my fashion show as an amputee? So those that follow me, y'all saw that I wrapped my leg in pink. I had like my little pink outfit or vest and black and pink hat. I walked in that fashion show. I had the best time of my life. This is all new things to me, and I've become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's where a lot of that growth came from. We've stayed in contact since then, and she's done stage plays in the past. And she said, "You know what? I want to start revamping my stage plays." And she said, "I know you're in Savannah," but she said we would practice on Zoom, and we would have meetups the closer it get to actually performance day. Would you be interested? And I was like, I've never been in a play or a stage play, but I said, absolutely. So that's coming up in November. The first show is in November. It'll be down in Miami. She's already talking about trying to get it to where they can stream it, so people can see it, because she knows I'm not down in Miami. So and then where that goes from there, I'm not sure, because they're already talking about trying to do it in Georgia. I think she has somebody in Alabama, and again, she has a 501c3 too, also, and it's called A Leap of Faith Foundation. So she's also looking for donors and everybody that wants to donate towards that, because she's affecting all aspects of life. And now with me being inside of the stage play, I'm representing basically our adapted community to show that, hey, limb loss don't have to stop any of your goals or dreams, whatever it may be. If it's from acting to sports to fitness to whatever it is, you just have to make your mind up and go after it. So I'm loving the experience with that. So hopefully it may be on Tubi, Netflix, Prime. We may go from there.
Be on the red carpet, Oscar winner someday. I mean, and that's one of the things I want people to take away from our discussion with you, Henry, is, thinking back to 2016 you, right?
Yes.
Young 30s you. Would that guy, pre-accident, have been walking in a fashion show or acting in a stage play?
That guy didn't even have a social media. You couldn't look me up on Facebook at all and say, "Oh, I see what Henry doing." I was not a social media type person. I actually was kind of shy, believe it or not. I was shy. I didn't like pictures, none of that.
I would not believe that at all.
I am the complete opposite, and that also keeps me happy, because I'm like, I know I'm in my purpose. Like, God kept me here for a reason. And I used to question what it was, and now I'm like, this has to be it. So I'm giving it my all. I'm 100% in, and I'm having the time of my life with it. I promise you.
Yeah, and in some ways, you've taken that tragic situation and turned it into a positive, not only for you, but when Amputee Aid first started and we were looking for people to follow on social media, you kept coming up. And one of the reasons which is good, that's a compliment.
Yes,
it's coming up because you, in some ways, use your life, like you as a vessel to show other people what's possible and to be an inspiration.
Yes.
And, I don't know if that was your intent, like, I'm going to be an inspiration all day, every day, but you are. And you are, Henry, because you just show everyday life. And I wish more people need that. They need to see that.
It's crazy because it wasn't, in the beginning, my intent was I was taking videos because I started going to the gym because I wanted to learn how to walk better. And I didn't have a setup of parallel bars in my house. And my prosthetist always said, well, try to walk in the grass. That way, if you fall, you're not hitting the concrete. But I didn't want to do that either. And I was like, well, if I'm on the treadmill got like this little side handles. I said, I could just hold on to those. If it get too fast, I can hit stop. Or they got Planet Fitness got the little clip that you can clip onto you. So if you come off the treadmill, it'll stop. So that's what started it. And I wanted to take a picture just saying like, okay, I'm working back on me. And when I started with the coloring book, I wanted to do advertising. Again, I'm at a place where I'm not working, so income is not how it used to be. So I'm trying to find ways to get the word out about what I'm doing. So I started taking pictures myself to advertise myself. And they were so planned out at the time in the beginning. I probably would put a one picture, one post a week because I spent so much time critiquing myself and not really just focusing on, this is a process. But then all of a sudden one day it hit me like, hey, man, show the process. Just like we was talking about with my family. And that's kind of how everything started. And it's been that way since.
Yeah. So in the unlikely event someone watching this podcast has not followed you on social media, where do they find you? What is it? 5 Toes Down?
Yes, it's 5 Toes Down on everything. So, and you spell the words out. A lot of people want to put the number 5, but spell the words out. So FIVETOESDOWN. And it's on social media from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You just have to put the periods in there. So it's 5 period toes period down. YouTube, same thing as 5 Toes Down. So you can find me anywhere like that. Or I'm at the point now you can put me in Google. So just Google 5 Toes Down. I'm gonna pop up somewhere, either my social media, the job, because I posted stuff for the job also. So all the videos you see on Reform Prosthetics page, like I make those videos and share them to their page to be able to post. So that's another thing I've gotten good with. I've gotten good with like taking shots and videos without really overthinking the shot or overthinking the video, and the concepts just kind of roll in. So I thank God for that.
I love that. Candid is amazing. And also it goes back to what we had talked about earlier, which is showing those like unfiltered everyday life, the ups and downs, your mental health journey, the recovery journey, the small wins, the big wins, the going backward, all of the stuff, just life.
Life. Absolutely.
And we need more of that. And you are a shining example of that in the amputee community.
I appreciate that.
Of course, I could sing your praises all day. I love you.
I love you back.
I love your coloring books too, which is why although I gave some of them away, I did keep a couple in my little closet.
You let me know. I got you.
I need you to autograph them the next time you're here.
That'll work.
You're going to win an Oscar someday. All right. So as we're coming up to the end of our conversation together, I'm just wondering what's next on the horizon for 5 Toes Down and Henry Bryant.
Oh my goodness. Well, what's next? I'm gonna keep some of it a secret, but let's just say it's big things coming up next. As far as like what I want to try to do here. And I'm trying to do some collabs with some people. Because I try to give credit also to everyone on this journey. That's another big part of what I try to do. Because people inspire me also. And I've told Clarence, Robocop Leg before, like he was one of the first videos I saw when I got online. So I want people to post their journey, post their stories, because you never know who you affect. You look back at that now. I saw his video with him doing morning videos and he just was giving like inspirational words. And now you fast forward and look what I'm doing. That's part of what I do too. So I tell him that all the time, every time I see him. That's my brother there. I love him. And it's more that I've met along this journey too. I've been up to North Carolina with Case the Coach. He's put on his first social there. So if I can have effect on people in a positive way, like that makes me happy. Like I want to be a part of what you got going on if I can. Now I'm only one person. So
Yeah.
I'm also I'm also looking for people that's, want to try to help out as far as like, collab and do things with me as far as like volunteering or whatever with the nonprofit, because I want to keep this going and I want to just continue excitement everywhere.
Yeah.
Again, not just in my city, but everywhere.
That is one of the many, many things that I love about you, Henry, is the spirit of collaboration.
Yes.
We are the same way at Amputee Aid, which is there is no competition. There's plenty of need to go around. We want to sing the praises of all of our amputees in the community, all of our nonprofits. We are all working together. And as I mentioned when we started, we are a community when we are stronger together, right?
Yes.
And you're singing the praises, for example, of Clarence, Mr. Robocop Leg. We did his podcast too. But you're right up there. You all are the bigwigs. So I think maybe that's a good way to close out our conversation, is just in that spirit of collaboration, but also for anyone who is interested in donating to Five Toes Down, click the link below in our podcast. All of one will go to that psychosocial support and all the amazing work that Henry Bryant and his organization do. But also, if you'd like him to speak at your organization, contact him, contact us too, because his story is just remarkable, and what a shining example of turning a tragedy into a triumph in many ways, and not only making yourself successful, but spreading that love out to everyone else to see other people be successful and uplift them as well. So, Henry, thank you for sharing your story with us. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see you again. I cannot wait to see you again. And if y'all have time, go to this event or follow social media and donate anyway, okay? Or go buy the coloring books. They're all over the place. You'll love them. Henry, thank you very much. I know you got to get back to work, back to reform, helping all the patients and things. But thank you for giving us some of your time this afternoon.
No problem. Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. You just don't know. I appreciate this for real.
We love you so much, Henry. Thanks so much. And everyone, if you want to know more about Henry Bryant, click the links in the comments below this podcast. Also, scroll our YouTube page and you will see our webinar that we recorded with Henry a few months ago. Until next time, take care of yourself. Remember, together we can restore hope and reclaim lives. Take care. Bye. Bye.